starts with Olivia, then goes to Saul, then goes to Awakiji. Like this whole thing of trying to figure out what went down, what's going on,
Mm.
which inspired Saul to do what he did at Ahara, which inspired Aokiji to do what he did at Ahara, which inspired him at Punk Hazard, and now where he's trying to roll with Blackbeard pirates to figure out, I need to know what the One Piece is all about. It's like this whole thirst for knowledge is being passed down.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? This is the Grand Line Gazette, where we talk about One Piece every damn day. We do One Piece character discussions, breakdowns, other kinds of discussions like One Piece chapter and manga reviews, everything. So if that's your kind of thing, follow, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, all the social media stuff. I don't know if this is other places. Yeah, we are continuing our new Giant Warrior Pirate week.
Mm-hmm.
With Jaguar D. Saul. So, a new member of the Giant Warrior Pirates, maybe an honorary member. We don't know if he's actually for real a member, but we feel like he has to be mentioned in this group. We know like out of all the Giants we talked about, Saul's helped the most, like the world. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about him.
Every crew needs an archaeologist, and that's Saul is the smart guy. He's the Robin to our crew, and that's kind of where I put him. He's not a fighter.
There's a lot of good things we could say about Saul, but let's start with the worst about him. He's a Marine, a dirty one too, because he betrayed the Marine. So it's like you don't even got they trust no more. Like who's to trust you? But yeah. So Saul is a vice admiral in the Marines, or was a former. You're correct. Vice Admiral of the Marines, born in the South Blue. Let's talk about it. Vice Admirals are pretty high ranking.
It's not bad. I mean,
any other Vice Admirals that you would say is like comparable to him right now or in times past?
Well, I think it's like Vice Admirals. It's like when you get to them, it's just like not everybody's boxing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like. Also, I mean, then we got longtime favorites of the show, Dalmatian, Momonga. We have Suru, Garp, Smoker is also an admiral, so we do have to.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
He's at the tail end of the parade and everything's disgusting.
So
which one's Smoker again?
You confuse him with the exhaust from the parade ships.
I feel like you're just making him.
He's always in the back of the parade. You think that's like the exhaust, but that's just Smoker. Yeah. But yeah, so Saul has to be pretty formidable. You know what I mean?
During the Ed War, he was seen around people, like when the news is breaking, around Garp, Kuzan, Sakazuki, and Suru. He's in the fold. This is somebody who's like, hey, the Golden Lions and the Rogers Pirates are about to do battle. This is the squad they're coming to tell. Like, he's in the fold. He's strong. I feel like he can do some pretty strong hockey. Yeah. But fighting is not going to be his main.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that because we haven't seen him fight, or what is making you think fighting is not something that he's proficient at?
It's just more of like where he kind of seemed to be more himself. On Ohara, you don't fight. We're here to find knowledge together. Like, we leave the fighting to the militaries, and that's kind of where he seemed to vibe with the most. And I can imagine that he's doing the same thing on Elbaf.
He was fighting for the Oharans, where he was trying to run into their defense, but he already knew the Buster Call was en route. But even still, he was trying to help them out. But I'm just trying to, I guess, express that if he's in the Marines, he should at least have a decent set of hands, right?
No,
Yeah,
he's a giant, so I automatically put. I mean, we talked about this a couple videos ago. Like, giants ought to have a different starting point than everyone else. So yeah, he's very strong.
He's born in the South Blue, so he's not exactly born on Elbaf. Maybe it's like you know,
How, who knows? Roto level, maybe?
grandpa's
Who
in
knows?
the, you know what I'm saying? Like, grandpa was in
Isn't
the
South Blue most
NBA.
tumultuous?
Hmm.
We'll say this: like, grandpa was in the NBA, dad was in the NBA. Dad retired after like a year and a half, moved somewhere cushy. You never played basketball, and then eventually you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll try out for a team. You know what I mean? Like, you're kind of good, but you can still be trash. That being said, we've seen other
Come from good
giants.
stock.
Yeah, we've seen other giants in the military. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, maybe he
Yeah.
sparred against them, but I feel like that's a small pool of people you're competing against. You know what I mean? An
Yeah.
average Joe with the musket that we be seeing run around, he don't know the difference. He's
So your
staying out
sparring
Giants way.
partners,
What
your sparring partners are Garp and Sakazuki. Then you know what I'm
what
saying?
about
Like
that
that's
other giant that showed up at Marineford that went up against Newgate
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and
There's other
Newgate
giants
body?
out
yeah,
there.
yeah,
No,
yeah. There's
no, I
miscellaneous
agree with
there.
you. I'm saying like, who do you think would? Yeah, never mind. I answered my own question. I was gonna say, who do you think is more prominent in terms of like fighting? But we haven't seen Saul fight, so that's a hard one to speculate.
How do
Yeah,
you think he joined the military?
Mother caramel ish type shit.
maybe. Guess we
Maybe.
don't really.
Because
We've
like
met him.
I remember her mentioning in particular that she was like Giants were a good score for them if they can like get one as a kid. And that's why like she even went after Big Mom, even though she's not a giant, but that shit didn't go well. So
Yeah.
He did. He did go around the
We
the
don't know
south
too many
or
people from
the
South
Grand
Blue though.
Line. Yeah,
kid and
he did.
it is kid. Isn't like the South Blue like supposedly really tumultuous? Like it's really chaotic and violent.
I guess we don't know enough people from the South Blue to connect Mother Caramel to getting a giant who was born there to joining the military. Um, but yeah, Kid was born there. A couple people: Kuzan, Katarina Devon, Vasco Shot, Lucky Roo, Cuddy Flam, like Galdino, like Kumadori, Sengoku, a very Aramaki, a very tumultuous area. So
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
what we're saying. So he has to have at least a set of hands in
yeah.
addition to going into the Marines, in addition to his strength as a giant.
And
He has to be
the world of the South Blue seems like, yeah, there's a place for justice or a wanting for justice. So,
right. Maybe that's the reason.
um,
Okay.
but yeah, moving on to I think the most notable thing is the Buster call and his choices on O'Hara. I guess Kev.
I mean, we see him pretty beaten up from it. He's actually frozen by Kuzan during most of it, if I remember correctly. Right?
Well, during the actual bombardment itself, but about like his just involvement with O'Hara mostly, like he did help with Robin's mom. Like he met Robin while
Oh,
he was
sure.
on O'Hara.
There's
So,
a lot of fate involved with that.
yeah, had to be in the right place at the right time. Um, do you think like the need for research came before like the justice? You know what I mean? Like, do you think he became like
Yes.
a scholar after he joined the military? He started seeing these places.
Yes. I think like he was influenced in particular by Olivia Robin. Her being a prisoner and everything was captivated by her and her thirst for knowledge and her quest to understand the void century in times past. They were on the ship together. Him being in proximity to her, relaying information, definitely must have sparked something within him because he freed her. And then fate should have it that he washes up against shore with her daughter. Crazy. And you're the one who's going to go out and try to save all the knowledge and shit. And then the Buster Call happens. You manage to survive by like ridiculous odds. You manage to survive, and then you secure all the knowledge thereafter. Oh yeah, I'm feeling like he has something from Olivia that he needs to pass down to Robin.
Yeah. And like just speaking on Robin a little bit, like he's the first one of the first people that Robin could call a friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just somebody that was also, and him being a giant is kind of like symbolic of him also being out of place and not really connected to these people. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how she felt at the time too. So that's another level of that. She knows about the Will of D from his name, Jaguar D. Saul.
Yep.
I guess for me, it might have always been something that as far as being sure, because it looks like before he ever joined the Marine, he, traveled the Grand Line. Doesn't really say much about his adventures, but says he meets a lot of devil fruit quite a bit. So, but I mean, maybe that idea to just travel is very common here.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not always an option for people.
It does seem like a theme with the One Piece world. Yeah, like Clover too. Kind of speaking on Clover, Chris was talking about Olivia. Yeah, she was the one that kind of convinced him that he was doing wrong. She's like, you know what the military be doing? Like how they be killing people and doing all this shit who just be trying to look for knowledge.
Yeah.
And since he's part of like
should
this
I really?
Race, yeah, he's probably like,
it's like, should I really be imprisoned for like trying to figure out what happened? That's it. I just want to know what happened.
Being a giant has got to be like there's a heritage of being a giant. Like there are tales of Elbaf. Like he's not like from Elbaf, but he's well aware of like tales from Elbaf. He's probably met plenty of giants from Elbaf where he's like, yo, not being able to even know your history. Like he's like, I don't want to know my history. Like, but if I wanted to, it's there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not even having the opportunity got to hit different. Anything about those two really quick before I go to this next character?
Olivia and Saul or Robin and Saul?
Olivia and Robin.
Oh.
Okay, so
Oh, my bad. I think that whole interaction with Robin, how you put it, I like the theming behind it. I didn't really perceive it that way, where Saul's out of place as being a giant, and then Robin's like the demon girl or whatever. But I really like the fact that even though Robin was such a scholar and studious because she wanted to be involved and be associated with her mother and rejoin her and everything, she didn't know certain things that Saul had to teach her, and I like that. She didn't like she didn't know anything about emotions, how to process them, how to like laugh through shit, how to be resilient through certain things. She always felt like it was just her, and to have her learn that from Saul, that's not something you can really pick up from a book.
Yeah, and he gave her a lot of hope. Like
that's what I'm
while
saying.
She was running, like he was like, look, you'll find some friends, Robin. And when we get that flashback, look,
that hits.
When we get that 8K flashback in high def, yo, that's gonna hit different. Like, yo, you're gonna find your friends, Robin. You're gonna be like, I found my friends. You're like, damn. That's gonna be like 2 weeks after the 8 month. Never mind. 6 month break ain't for the fucking manga. But yeah. Next character was Kuzan, his best friend, I guess. Which we learned almost 1,000 chapters later. Kuzan's just like, you ain't never had to kill your best friend. What? That's cool because we got flashbacks of Kuzan and how he acted. So to see how he acted, like Saul probably rolled up and was like, what you doing, punching battleship bags? What's up, bro? Like, come on, man, let's get a flashback.
Bruh. The fact that like Kuzan froze him and everything, and at that point in time, he has his ice fruit, right? So he had already been training with Garp for quite a bit. He already got that stuff down with the battleship bags and everything. So to see how proficient he was due to that training, then getting the ice fruit to freeze Saul no problem. I mean, I know Saul was like trying to talk sense into him, but you could at least like broke the ice. But maybe it was a different kind of strength because he wasn't even taking like Aokiji into consideration at some point.
Wait.
He was just talking to Robin.
Wait. like, like, uh, like you're saying like he was able to overpower Saul.
Yeah, I think it was
I don't think Saul
either.
fought. I
Okay,
don't
that
think
was the
Saul
latter.
fought. I
I
don't
think
think.
it was either he was strong enough to fight, or Saul was more focused on Robin and getting across that last message.
Yeah, but this is also like his best friend too. So it's like Saul's not fighting him, and he's also not fighting Saul. This is like the path of least resistance. Like he's just freezing
I
him.
see.
Yeah, it's like this is like your best friend. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna like roll up to a place, bomb it, and then just fight your best friend. Like no, you're like here, man. Just like if we gotta kill you, just like just lay there, or like hey, like they're gonna burn this place. Like look, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna freeze you, and then you just gotta figure it out. But this is the last time I talk to you.
That sounds like Aokiji.
Yeah.
Okay, good point.
No, they're just that's friends. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
just like I ain't
No,
gonna
I
kill
mean-
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you a ride home, bro. But after
Yeah,
this, I'm
that,
blocked.
I can't tell. Yeah,
Yeah.
that ain't it. Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
you're doing coke lines off my
Way too
dad.
much.
yeah.
Like,
Hey, OD.
You gotta
On the
stop,
ride
dude.
home.
Yeah, OD.
On the ride home, dog. Like you gotta stop.
This is the last ride, and you doing this.
Yeah,
I promise
yeah,
you.
but yeah, he definitely. I don't. And like Saul didn't try to struggle out of it. He was just kind of like, oh no. But that was like after he was already frozen. That could have been like
But-
Right.
And he may actually believe that Saul died from it. Like
yeah.
we may not know. Kuzan knows this, but I think this is what drives Kuzan to leave the Marines finally. Right? I think that's kind of the assumption.
Well, that was
That's
no
crazy.
Kuzan.
Or-
He was,
Oh,
I mean,
he fought a
was
Akainu, right?
yeah.
I kind of agree with Kevin though.
Oh,
Because
like
I
this
know
could have
where-
been like a start of like.
Yeah.
Kuzan
Yeah.
was always like
And then-
questioning shit.
Sure.
Yeah, so
Agreed.
the ideologies clash when who's gonna be the head, and who's not gonna be the head, so he dips.
Yeah.
And I just noticed on when Kevin brought that up, it kind of seems like that whole Olympic torch thing where they just pass it off to the next person, or one for all for those who watch
Oh.
My Hero. It starts with Olivia, then goes to Saul, then goes to Aokiji. Like this whole thing of trying to figure out what went down, what's going on, which inspired Saul to do what he did at Ahara, which inspired Aokiji to do what he did at Ahara, which inspired him at Punk Hazard, and now where he's trying to roll with Blackbeard Pirates to figure out, I need to know what the One Piece is all about. It's like this whole thirst for knowledge is being passed down.
Yeah. I'd like to see the flashback. I want to see it again to see if Kuzan ices his face while he's freezing Saul. Because I'd like to see if he like was hiding
Oh,
his
the
tears,
tears again.
Same thing with
Man,
Garp.
you and his
Yeah.
tears, man. I like that.
Man,
It's the little things in the
It's
picture that
like,
make it for
hey,
me.
it's
though,
like
too.
the like small
No, I
like
get it.
emotional moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's your boy. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah.
Hey, But okay,
Yeah.
so then let's take that though. I want to like the flashback we got with Garp. Now add in Saul with that because that's what we're understanding,
that's what I'm
right?
saying.
Like
That's,
they were the
I
homies.
think that's the time range when they met.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo.
And
Time
so-
out.
Imagine Garp like looking at Kuzan now. He's like, bro, like you killed our brother.
Yeah. Well, it's like
Nah, bro.
Not-
I don't think
maybe
it's like
not our
that.
brother.
I think Kuzan is Kobe and Saul is Helmeppo. But they're still under Garp.
Mm.
maybe.
That's what I think it is. Because Helmeppo and Kobe are best friends, but they were both trained by Garp. What if Saul was also trained by Garp? Because he was also there, or also trains with Garp.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I
You
like
guys
that.
tell us down in the chat. Like, do you guys think Saul was over here punching battleship bags? I can see it. I can see it.
The only thing is like I can't call him like a Helmeppo in any way because like we equate Helmeppo to like Usopp and like Saul's a vice admiral.
I do see Saul being worth.
no.
Yeah, I feel like the worth is Like I get the concept of best friends working under a teacher, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
once you say
Only that's
Helmeppo,
it.
I'm
Only
like,
that's that.
yeah,
Only I hear.
yeah, I'm like,
Just the
yeah.
positioning of support and main
Good point.
character.
Like
I got
you said a name that you
I got
have
you.
to want to say.
Yeah. Yeah. For the analogy to work.
I mean,
But
our
You have
viewers
to
have to
include
open
it.
up another tab to Google who Helmeppo was. Like that's the type of
Yeah,
how
my
do you
bad.
spell that?
I wasn't trying to
They
get
had
the
to click that
H
Google
E
fix.
L F.
But
He
yeah,
doesn't even have a wiki page.
Kuzan does freeze Saul. I think Saul was like, yeah, I guess this is it.
Yep.
And this is it.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna fight it. Like, what am I gonna do? Go back and get killed because I fucking betrayed y'all? Like, come on, man. I ain't getting out of this. And then he got out of it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get these books. While I'm here, I'm gonna get these books."
And then he got out of it.
That just
Yeah,
drew a
yeah.
parallel for me with Saul and Belmere. Both of them were given up, and then they both had a reason to continue to live.
I mean, these are
Right,
the two
as they were
girls for
giving
the
up.
Straw Hats, so
So he does know that Robin's alive. I'd assume because of the wanted posters, right?
Yeah.
Are everywhere. So that makes sense to me.
there ain't no way he.
He knows he's alive.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess. What are you guys expecting? Like, is he gonna have
You
a
also
lot
think
of?
he's the man of Marked by Flames?
Hey, that one, that theory I'm still cooking on because my theory is that the black ship is the wood from the knowledge tree on O'Hara. I think the red poneglyph would have been in the same bay area that the books were in. I think if they did have red poneglyph, which I don't see why they shouldn't have to study history, why they wouldn't have stored it there.
My last question.
I don't know the world.
Let's create a scenario. We don't have to create a scenario, but it's like,
Sure.
let's say it's not Robin. Who do you think's the first Straw Hat to run into Saul?
Sanji.
Does he know it? Maybe Straw Hat? I mean, Straw Hat loves to just
He
get
just
in
run
people's
into
face.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you? Loki. Ah, okay. It's like that's how we just met our antagonist of this.
Maybe Nami.
Top three.
She would talk to him like, "You're like dressed like different. What's going on?"
Top three. Luffy, because he would talk to him in the same kind of way that he did Vegapunk, just running into him. Sanji, because Sanji has heard or found something, or he knows Sanji's on the Straw Hats, so he mentions Robin, so he's the one that wants to run Robin.
Or that's
Usopp,
that's how the other Straw Hats find them, because he hears Robin crying. He's like, "What the? Let's go!" Hey, low key, that would be a crazy way for them to meet up, but a believable way. But he had to talk to Robin first.
Yeah.
So just to kind of, I think his knowledge, his strength probably hasn't amplified, but being on Elbaf, you have the holy grail of library, probably. It's untouched by the world government. He probably has every inch of like the clan of D mapped out and why it exists.
That'd be crazy.
He's gonna be.
I thought you were gonna talk about him like, gangs or something. I'm like, yeah, they probably got giant boars.
Oh no!
Seeing, like, steaks.
He's got gains. Yeah. I also think that this is something.
It's not his role. That's not his job for me.
That's fair because he's not a Elbathian. But this is the thing that I appreciate about Oda, that he left like the history of the world and all that shit to giants, people who live hundreds of years, so they can recollect it. Like, say I'm a 200-year-old giant, and then I have my father who's still up and around and all that shit, and he's like, what, 289, 290, and hopefully his father's still around.
We're both still
like,
until it goes like hella. Because it's like everybody could say something, you know what I mean? And then they live forever, yeah.
Yeah, like, because, like, with just, like, the son, the father, and the grandfather, you could potentially...
Oh, he's
You locking out on my end.
Oh, I was saying basically with the son, the father, the grandfather, you could basically cover 1,000 years in terms of life,
Yeah,
from the birth of your grandfather to the end of your life as the son.
yeah.
So it's like the stories and the shit that you would have seen and the things that you can recount is crazy. So the fact that all the history is left to you guys, I applaud that.
I
That's
mean,
dope.
Jarl's 406 years old. Again, we don't know
That's
if he's
what
like the ancient toad from Naruto, where he's barely alive, like he's just existing. So it's
right.
like, if it's
Or
like that, then
or
maybe 300
Guru,
years.
or Guru
Yeah,
from Dragon Ball Z, where he's just like,
it's like, all right, I
Just
get it. I
sit
get it. He's
back,
just
bro.
old.
Eyes are closed. He
this
hasn't
is our
opened his
Lord.
decades.
So like,
He
I'm thinking
hasn't
like
opened his eyes in
three.
decades.
I'm thinking like 350 years. Your average giant is kind of like
Life
competent still.
expectancy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, but at the end
So
of the
that's
day,
still like 1,000. It's perfect.
Yeah.
we got this like 25
Yeah.
minutes, so I want to wrap this up. But at the end of the day, like, how dope would it be if we got a scene where he has to actually fight, and he gives us like a Lemillion scene where he's like, "I'm still a giant." He just knocks somebody out. Like, yo, yeah, I'm for it.
Yeah.
I'd like
Very
it.
Yeah.
much.
You wouldn't
Yeah,
turn
'cause
it
you
off.
know-
You wouldn't turn it off. You be texting
Sure.
us
You know it-
the second time you watched it. The second time you watched it,
Sure.
you're like, "Hey!"
Sure.
You be like, "Hey!"
You know it's coming because we haven't seen him fight, and he speaks like he's not part of those Elbathians in the beginning. So you know he has to come and throw some hands eventually. You're not gonna leave this whole game as a pacifist.
or the more realistic approach, since Kev was a fucking rain on parades over there. He gets a fight and half of it's off screen and then it's over.
Okay, because I'm thinking how many people we have in One Piece. How many people do we need to have as an enemy? Till it's like, yeah, you know what? Saul gets a fight. Like, I don't even think we're gonna give a fight to Killer.
Like, bro, like, whatever, bro, like.
Killer's not gonna get a fight, and
No,
Saul's
no,
gonna
no,
get
no,
no,
bro, so
no. That's
many
what I'm
ways-
saying.
Bro, there's so many ways Saul
course.
can fight. There's so many ways Saul can fight.
It's
Oh
fine.
no, somebody's
sure.
attacking the books.
Someone's
What
attacking
did
the
you
book.
say?
I do
Someone's
see him
attacking
like
the new giant warriors.
giving
Someone's
up
attacking
himself.
Robin.
That boom right there, giving himself up to defend Robin against somebody like
Yeah.
Kuza
I would-
or
not gonna lie,
Kizaru
I would-
or Akainu.
I would hate that. Like, Robin, we
Oh,
just
really?
saw you turn into a giant spider demon creature.
Demon.
I
Yeah.
don't want your next fight to be you getting saved by somebody giving themselves up and sacrificing
I
themselves
agree,
for you.
but I think that's
I would like
that's
Robin
what
to
we
save
have.
Saul. Just inverse it.
Ooh, I like that.
Look how far I've come.
I like that. And I think that's a little easier to do because then that would mean that Saul loses this fight that you guys are talking about.
Hey, you feel me?
I think
And
that's
then
easier to
it's,
write. That's probably easier to write.
You feel me?
He gets one shotted and then rescued by Robin.
I can
That
write
makes
that.
sense to me.
Look, and the Prince can get one shot. And Dressrosa, he's getting one shot now.
Facts. That's on. There you go.
That's on the sun.
Yeah.
That's on Nika. All right,
You
that's
guys
the
tell
video.
us in the comments.
Yeah.
Do you guys think Saul will ever fight? Yes or no? And tell us. Who
Will
you
he ever
think
throw a
they'll
punch?
All right.
fight.